Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking something I know so many of us are constantly striving for, yet it kind of feels like it's always just out of reach, right? English fluency. But here's the thing, and we are going to completely demystify this today. Fluency is not some elusive, magical destination, and it definitely isn't a gift you're just simply born with. No way. Actually, I want you to start thinking about fluency as a muscle. It's a muscle training habit, it's a highly tangible, multi-step process. So in this explainer, we're literally going to build a practical toolkit to help organize your communication from the inside out. Okay, let's dive right into this roadmap. We're going to cover the communication struggle, structuring your thoughts, finding your flow, the power of self-monitoring, upgrading your sentences, and finally, building your daily habit. By the end of this, you'll have a clear system for absolutely every facet of how you communicate. Right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the communication struggle. Why exactly do we get lost in our own sentences? So tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever felt like you sound, I don't know, a bit robotic? Or maybe like you're just rambling on without any real direction? Trust me, you are totally not alone in this. Have you ever been in a meeting, maybe a performance review, and a supervisor actually tells you that your communication needs to be better organized? Or maybe you just feel it internally, like your words are just coming out completely jumbled. Ugh, it's the most frustrating feeling, isn't it? Because you know the vocabulary, you know the grammar, but the execution, it just kind of falls flat. Well, according to communication experts, this disorganized speech usually stems from two main things. First off, just a simple lack of overall structure, and second, a misunderstanding of cultural expectations. See, in American English environments, communication is expected to be extremely direct, right to the point. It's not just about being polite, it's really about efficiency. Time is money, as they say. If you wander around your main point, your listeners are going to tune out almost immediately. So to avoid that rambling, we absolutely have to build a solid mental outline before we even open our mouths. Which brings us nicely to Section 2, structuring your thoughts. This is what we call the mind pillar. Think about it like this. To communicate clearly, you wouldn't just toss a bunch of bricks onto an empty lot and hope a house builds itself, right? You need a blueprint. Your thoughts need that same kind of structural foundation so your listeners never, ever have to guess what your main idea is. Enter the PREP method, P-R-E-P. First, P is for point. You literally state your main message immediately. Next, R for reason. You explain exactly why this point matters to the person listening. Then, E for example. Give them some specific, concrete evidence. And finally, the last P is point again. You just restate your main message to really lock it in. This framework is a total game changer. It helps you structure your thoughts in seconds, whether you're up on stage for a formal presentation or just chatting at the water cooler. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference PREP makes. Just look at the messy, rambling example on the left here. Well, passwords are important, and we've had some issues. Security is changing. I mean, it's super weak and vague, right? But now look at the PREP version on the right. Point, we need stronger passwords. Reason, weak ones are a vulnerability. Example, last month, companies were hacked using 1234556. Point, strong policies reduce risk. Boom, right? It is crisp, it is direct, and the main idea is completely undeniable. All right, moving on to Section 3, finding your flow. Let's talk about the voice pillar. Okay, so once your mind is organized, we have to tackle the physical execution. Because honestly, knowing what to say doesn't matter much if your mouth can't physically produce those sounds smoothly. The absolute best way to train your vocal muscles is a technique called shadowing. It's literally like going to the gym, but for your vocal cords. Basically, you listen to a recording of a native speaker and you repeat this sentence immediately out loud, really trying to match their tone, their speed, and their rhythm. What's amazing is that this completely bypasses the part of your brain that's constantly translating from your native language, and it builds pure, unfiltered muscle memory. There's a quote from a fluency expert that I absolutely love. They say, you're not just memorizing, you're training your voice, your rhythm, and your confidence. Just let that sink in for a second. You're training your confidence. Even just 5 minutes of daily out loud practice can create massive real-world habits. It literally helps you start thinking in English. It helps you sound so much more natural. Remember, you do not need perfection here, you just need progress. Next up is Section 4, the power of self-monitoring. This is all about bridging the gap. So to truly find your flow, you can't just be a passive listener. You have to become an active communicator, and you do that by busting out your smartphone and recording your own voice. Now, when you listen back, you want to evaluate your speech using the rule of 3. Number 1 is fluency. Notice your pauses. Are you using linking words like however or therefore naturally? Number 2 is accuracy. Pay attention to your grammar. Are you actually using the correct tenses? And number 3 is pronunciation.
Are you stressing the right syllables? Does your overall intonation sound natural? This self-monitoring is huge because it gives you the autonomy to spot your own mistakes and actually fix them instead of just waiting around for a teacher to correct you. Now let's head into Section 5, upgrading your sentences. This is our pen pillar.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it shows us fluent, confident communication isn't just about speaking. It is absolutely about writing, too. We really need to leave behind those choppy, basic sentences and start building up some mature syntax. But before we upgrade, check out this readiness checklist. You obviously need basic English speaking, listening, and reading skills. But honestly, most importantly, you need a strong desire and willingness to improve your sentence complexity. If you've got that, and you are mentally prepared, then we can start combining short, monotonous sentences into something way more professional.
Let's look at how simple this can actually be. Check out the choppy sentences on the left. The driver stops at the red light. The driver waits at the red light. I mean, it kind of sounds like a children's book, right? But by combining these related action verbs using a simple connector, just the word and, we get the combined version on the right. The driver stops and waits at the red light. Just like that, your communication is instantly upgraded from basic to mature. Let's move to the next one and see how this builds with another example. Adult citizens register at neighborhood polling sites. Adult citizens vote at neighborhood polling sites. Super repetitive, right? But by connecting the predicates, we get adult citizens register and vote at neighborhood polling sites. This simple technique actively prevents reader and listener fatigue, and it just makes your ideas flow so seamlessly. Which brings us to our final section, Section 6, Building Your Daily Habit. Let's look at the fluency timeline.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground today, but listen to me. These 3 pillars, mind, voice, and pen, they are only going to transform your English if you apply them consistently. Like we said at the start, fluency is a habit. So, to make this highly actionable for you, here is a super practical 10-minute daily timeline that you can literally start today. In the morning, dedicate just 5 minutes to out loud shadowing. Get in there and warm up those vocal muscles. In the afternoon, pick just one conversation or one email to consciously apply the prep method. And then in the evening, spend exactly 2 minutes recording your voice and self-monitoring your fluency, your accuracy, and your pronunciation. It's these small, manageable daily improvements that are absolutely going to lead to massive success over time.
So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a provocative question to challenge you right now. Which conversation today will you consciously apply the prep method to? Remember, in the professional world, time is absolutely money, and clear communication is incredibly highly valued. You now have the exact toolkit to organize your mind, train your voice, and upgrade your pen. So go ahead, take immediate action with it today, and just watch your fluency completely transform.